Today we're going to talk about 3 factors to keep in mind in your way to transform your body. The very 3 important factors. As you have seen in other videos, there is a lot of things that you have to think about when you're changing your body, when you're losing weight, when you transform your body. In other words, you need to transform your life to be able to actually transform your body. So there's 3 things that you have to keep in mind as you go along your way to transform your body. The first thing that you have to think about is about this is a process. It's not a quick fix. If you can think about everything that you do in life is a process, and depending what is it that you're doing, it requires a couple of things to keep in mind. One of them is time. Whatever you're doing, it requires time. So here's a great example. The other day, we were changing the floor of Custom Body Fitness, a new one in Glenwood Springs. So I was helping the person who was actually installing the floor. He's a friend of mine, and he decided he wanted to do it for me. So he was doing it as I was moving a couple things. He was doing it alone. The only thing I was doing is lifting the heavy things. I'm very good doing that, by the way. So I was moving all the equipment from one side to another side, and all of a sudden he got a phone call and he needed to leave, and he said, "Sandro, you're gonna stay? And do my favor, you're gonna start cutting the floor this way." And the first thing I say, no, you're gonna do it yourself. And the reason why I say that is not because I didn't want to do it. It's because to be able to do those cuts and be professional, you have to be very patient. It's a process. It requires time. And I didn't have that patience on doing that flooring. I didn't have the time to do it. I can do many things and I can be patient in many areas, but I wasn't willing to be patient on that. Because of that, I decided to say no completely. So that's a process. Putting that flooring into the Custom Body Fitness, and the new Custom Body Fitness is a process. If you think about when you go out, if you're gonna get ready for something, it's a process that you need to go through. You need to shower. Once there, you need to actually get dressed. You need to do your hair. Whatever you need to do, it's a process. It requires even, depending what's the maintenance that you have to give yourself, it can take from 10 minutes to an hour. The same thing goes with an oil change in your car, or to make a car. It's a process. You need to actually make sure that the car is safe. You need to put a jack in the bottom and then jack it up, and then you need to remove the screw. You need to actually let the oil drain. And if you know about an oil change, you know it's a process. It's not difficult, but it's a process. If you think about cooking, it's also a process. You have to follow a recipe. So we're talking about small little things that requires about 1-2 hours, maybe a day. Having a baby, probably the moms, of course, they know this. Having a baby, being pregnant is a process. It's not that you just pregnant, the next time you deliver it, the kid is out there. Everything is a process. From being pregnant to the things that you're going to need for your kid, from going to the hospital, from delivering, for everything is a process. So weight loss is a process. It's not an event, it's a process. And for that, it requires time. Depending for how long you've been carrying that weight, depending for how long you've been ingrained those bad habits, your beliefs, you're changing. The exercise that you're doing is different for you to go for a walk, to dance Zumba, to go for a run, to go for a hike. It's different for go climbing, to do weightlifting. It's completely different on the exercise that you do. And of course, if you're walking, you're gonna get less results than you running. You're still gonna get results by walking, but if you're running, you're gonna get more results. Now, if you're doing weightlifting, you're gonna do more results. You're doing weightlifting and you're running, you're gonna get even more results. But it's time consuming, so it requires time. Think about that every single time that you change something. As an example, when you eating, same thing. For you to change your eating, it's not going to happen overnight. You have bad habits that you have to get rid of. Now we're talking a little bit about bad habits. I have many back in the past, and that's the reason why I wasn't changing. And now, because I got rid of those bad habits, I'm changing. That doesn't mean, like I said in other videos, I'm not perfect by any means. I still have bad habits that don't allow me to continue moving forward, and I'm very aware, and I'm looking forward to find my bad habits to continue moving forward. Because for me to being successful in my life in any area, such as my fitness level, my finances level, my relationship, my my spiritual growth, anything I want to be successful, and requires time, and I need to get rid of those bad habits. So you have to think about the time that you invest in on removing those bad habits, on your eating. What things are you changing? Are you eating your breakfast? It requires time. Everything requires time. And now that we talk about time, the second point on thinking about a process is patience. You need to be patient. Why this is very important? Because if you're not patient to see the results, you're gonna get discouraged, you're gonna get desperate. That happens to many of my clients. Some of my clients do lose 5 pounds a month, and they don't think it's enough. Some of them lose 3 pounds, while there is clients that I have, they lose around 10 pounds a month, 15 pounds a month. There is clients that lose 5 pounds a month, and they think about, they compare themselves with other clients that I have, and there's a couple of things that we have to keep in mind. One, how much weight did the other person needs to lose compared to the person that maybe needs to lose less weight. Another thing is the other person doing a lot more than the other client. You can't compare yourself with anybody else. You have to compare yourself with yourself. First of all, because you may not have the same way to lose. Second of all, maybe you're not doing the same thing the other person. Maybe the other person is doing a lot more than you're doing, but this is what you can do. So if you lose 5 pounds, that's okay. It's a progress. You're not gonna lose all the weight that you've been carrying for 10 years in 1 month. It's gonna take you at least a year to get there. At least, and that's only a guess. It might take you 2, it might take you 3 years. For me to get to the body that I wanted to get, and I wasn't in bad shape, it took me 3 years. But guess what? I got there within 3 years. And I pushed myself every day so hard in the gym. And the reason why I got into those 3 years and I didn't get desperate is because I never usually was focusing completely on my body type. I mean, I knew I want to be the effort that I was putting to get to my goal, one day it will give me the results. So I was focusing more than anything on the small goals, on my weightlifting. Every single time, every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, every 2 months, I was increasing my weightlifting and every single muscle group. That's called periodization, but that's another story. My point out of this is that I have patience to get there. So don't compare yourself with anybody else. Compare yourself with yourself. If you lose 5 pounds, it's fine. For how long you've been carrying that weight, it's going to take you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's going to take you. But it has to be a lifestyle change. And then when you change that, you're going to get the body that you're looking for. But you have to be patient, okay? Another point is being persistent within the process. So you know that this is a process, right? So you have to be persistent. You can't just give up because you're gonna relapse, and it's okay. I still relapse. As a matter of fact, I just went to a relapse in my life, and I'm very aware of those bad habits, and I'm very ashamed, and you have no idea how painful this is for me, because I know better, and because of that I put it into myself. I'm very hard with myself. And why I'm so hard? Because I know better, and I know the results that I want from my life, and I'm not willing to relapse. However, I'm still a human being, and I have to forgive myself, and I have to continue moving forward. So it's okay to relapse. It's okay to let go, and it's okay to continue moving forward. But because of that doesn't mean that I'm giving up. Sometimes when I'm in that relapse, I say, this is not worth it. I want to just drop everything. Yeah, and then what? And then you're going to go back to the same, and then you're going to continue relapsing. You're going to continue with those bad habits. You're not going to move forward. You're not going to fulfill your life, your purpose. You're not going to do better. Forget about this. Get in your feet. Continue moving forward. So it's okay for you to relapse. Put it in yourself. Be hard on yourself. But once that happens, get in your feet and continue moving forward. Continue moving forward to your goal. So now that you relapse, now that you understand that you need to move forward, you need to continue being persistent towards your goal. You can't let go. If whatever happens, if you don't see the results that you're seeing, like we just talked about patience, what you need to do is actually pay attention to the things, the results that you're getting, the small things that you're getting. Such as an example, if you change the way you're eating, if you're exercising, if you're hanging out with the right people, if whatever things that you're doing, small things, focus on that. So continue moving forward. You know, one of my breakthroughs, it usually happens when things are very difficult for me, when I don't see a change, when I'm trying to continue moving forward and everything goes wrong, and because everything goes wrong, the human behavior, we tend to just drop it and say forget it. We tend just to not do something. But guess what? When I continue persistent, that's exactly when I get a breakthrough. That's when I go to the next level in every single area of my life, especially personally. That's when I feel better. So you must persist with the process. So keep that in mind. Your time, patience, and be persistent, understanding that you're going through the process. So now let's talk about factor number 2, which is revisiting your goals. Revisiting your goals is very important. Sometimes we lose our energy. Sometimes we don't have the motivation. Sometimes we don't even know what we're doing things, especially when things get very hard. For me, as an example, I usually raise my standards. All the time I raise my standards, and I do my best, and I continue aiming higher in my goals everywhere because I know it's fulfilling. I know it gives me results. And when many times I do get into a comfort zone, because it happens to me, I procrastinate, I get into a comfort zone, I forget about my goals. That's first. Second, not only forget about my goals, but I get distracted. If you revisit your goals and you make sure you make sure you know why are you doing things, then you still get that energy. Slap yourself in the face and say, okay, wake up. Why I sign up to a weight loss program? Why I'm hiring a mentor? Why I'm hiring a coach? Why is it that I'm waking up every day I'm going to the gym? Why is it that I'm waking up every morning, I'm going for a run, I prepare my breakfast? Why is it that I have to cook at home, and when I can go to a fast food restaurant and get a burger or whatever? Why is it that I have to eat my diet high in veggies? Why is it that I'm taking my time to sit and eat, and I'm taking my lunch with me? You have to understand that every single thing that you're doing, if it doesn't have a goal, it doesn't have a purpose, you're not gonna do it. The energy is gonna go away. When you revisit your goals, you remember why is the reason, the goal. Why are you doing every single thing that you're doing every day? And therefore, you can raise your standards. You say, okay, so I promise myself. Now let's talk about promise. One of the things that many people don't trust other people, and this is the reason why contracts do exist, is because we promise, but our promise becomes something very vague. Like, yeah, I'm gonna promise myself that I'm gonna lose 20 pounds this year, 30 pounds this year, and you don't feel self-confidence after you break your promise, because you know you're lying to yourself. You're letting yourself down, because the promise that you make yourself, you're not making it. And if you promise that to yourself and you sign in a contract with somebody else, you're not only making that promise to yourself, you're making that promise, you're making it public. And then when you fail, of course, your self-confidence goes down. Why? Because you're breaking your contract. You're making the promise that you're making with yourself. So, but you remember the reason why you're doing things, revisiting your goals, it's gonna give you the power. It's gonna give you okay, this is the feelings I had when I signed these contracts. This is the feeling I have when I set up my goals. I need to check my goals again. I need to get those feelings again. And I need to continue doing the same things I did when I started the program. What is it that I start doing? I start doing my weightlifting, my running, eating my breakfast, eating high in veggies. Stop drinking. Stop drinking energy drinks. All the things that you set up in your plan. It's very important that you go back and revisit everything. Remember that. It's important that you go back and remember the reasons, your goals. Why are you doing every single action that you're doing every day? And let's talk about the 3 factors that is important for you to change your body. And this is a very difficult factor, and many people don't want to hear it. Back in the past, when I had no goals, I had a life that it was very unfulfilling, and I was very lost. And I used to have a lot of friends. We used to go party all the time. I remember me buying them dinner, buying them drinks. I used to take them party, and I had a lot of friends around me. When I found the principles that I need to follow, when I put my values in place, and when I decided to change, I say, I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna change, and I'm gonna make a change in this world. I'm gonna progress. I fall into depression. Probably I repeat this many times in my videos, but this was a very important change in my life. When that happens, there was no friend who called me and said, Sandro, how are you doing? You got fired from your job. Can I help you? I haven't heard from you. Can I do something for you? Nobody called me. But when it was about drinking, when it was about partying, when I was about talking about superficial things that didn't really matter and add value to my life, people were there. Because that's the friends there. They have those habits. There is nothing wrong with them having those habits. It's okay for them to have those habits. But you have to ask these very important questions. Do your friend, they are helping you to move forward to your goal, or they're pulling you back down? They're asking you, let's go drink tonight. It's gonna be only one day. It's not gonna mess up your program. You're gonna be fine. It's gonna be one day. And they do this every day, every weekend. And you fall into that. Is that friend really want you to succeed? Think about it. Or that friend is only want you so you both can have fun, which is nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but it's contributing to your goal is my question. Is this person is asking you to stay and watch a movie and eat chips and say, oh, let's not go for a run, just stay here with me, let's talk about something. What do you think that friend is thinking about you, or he or she's thinking selfish about, I want company, somebody who actually stay with me down the bottom of the mountain. I don't want to go hike to the top of the mountain. I want to stay here and I want this person to stay with me. Is that person really thinking about you, or is thinking about he or herself and just having you sitting on the couch eating potato chips or whatever, so you too can have some fun? Don't you think a real friend would say, get your tennis shoes, put them on, let's go for a hike. We can talk as we go along. We can both hike. You actually helping me as I'm helping you. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna get some results. What about when you go out and eating? Instead of, okay, my friend, you know what? This alcohol is not helping you in your life. Why don't we do something even more fun? Why don't we go to the pool? Let's relax a little bit. That's nothing wrong with it. But you doing something together. Let's talk about our next plan. How we're gonna help each other. Let's talk about how you see your future. How can I contribute with it, and how you can contribute with my future. How about I help you move if you're moving right now. Let's carry everything out. That's a real friend. When somebody is there to help you to progress, to actually move forward. He or she is not trying to pull you down into those bad habits. Be honest with yourself. All the people that you have around you is really helping you become smarter, fitter, successful with your family, a connection with God, helping you invest your money in good things so you get benefits and he or she gets benefit. Is that person really thinking about how can I contribute, how can I be a best friend to you? Instead of thinking like, let's have fun, instead of being a best friend to you, why don't you just come entertain me by doing whatever things that are not really helping you to go to your goal. So think about all those people that you have around you. There is nothing wrong with those people. If they want to live that life, they can live it. As an example, the friends that I had that used to be with me, sometimes I see them around and I say hello. I mean, there is nothing wrong with them. It's their life. They can do whatever they want to do and they can continue with their journey. It's just a different journey they have than the different journey that I have. Now, the friends that I have now, they help me with my journey, the things that I want to get, because you know what? That's the same things they want to get. They want to be fit. They want to be helping the world. They want to contribute to the world. We come up with new plans. We see how we're gonna help each other. We listen to a problem so we can fix it. There is different things. So there is, once again, there is nothing wrong with your old friends. They're just in a different position and different habits. Now, that doesn't mean they're bad people. That just means that you're in different position. Be honest with you. If they are contributing to get to your goal, to your change, to that new body that you're looking for, and be fitter and be better on your life. So then they're good friends. If they're not contributing with you, why you are keeping them around? Okay? So be honest and realistic with yourself and ask that question to you. So let's recap everything real quick. So the first thing that you have to keep in mind, that weight loss, changing your body, transforming your body, is a process. With that process, it requires time, it requires patience, and it requires persistence. Now, the second one, we're talking about revisiting your goals. It's important for you to go back so you don't forget about your goals and awaken those feelings that you had when you sign in, and going back to your contract that you make with yourself, and not letting yourself down because your self-confidence is going to go down. You want that self-confidence to go up. What's going to happen? The only way to do that is by you being true to yourself and keep your goals and your contract with yourself so you can continue moving forward. And the third one is check around who's around you and they're contributing you to your goal. So those are the three things that you have to keep in mind. The three factors there take into consideration to get to your new transformed body. So here's my book, everybody. If you want to buy it, it will really help you to actually, with the process of weight loss, it will help you. It will give you a lot of feedback. It will tell you a lot of my clients' story about how they're actually lost weight and how they struggle. People love this book. I recommend you buy it. Please subscribe to our channel, share this video so everybody benefits from it. Our goal is to get to at least 10,000 subscribers, so help us get there. Thank you so much.